What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ruse Reviews, and today we are chatting about Flat Pack by Knowles. Let's do this. Okay, what is Flat Pack? Flat Pack is a way of producing a deck of cards very suddenly, very visually, and very easily as well. Those of you that perform sort of sudden deck effects, I've had literally everyone. I've had all the sudden decks from David Regal, the 3D marketing thing, I forget what that was called, but no way could I just go round in close-up gigs carrying that sort of stuff on me. This is perfect. So, I pre-ordered this a little while back and it came through yesterday morning. I practiced it a little bit and I went out and worked it yesterday night, and flawless. Completely flawless. Knowles has come up with an amazing product here. So let me start by saying I actually saw this demoed on an Instagram video about 2 years ago, and I didn't really register it at the time. I just thought that looks really cool. I hope it gets released. That's literally all I thought. That video has now, since the release of the effect, been circulating the forums and that. And what that video did was show the full routine, all the moves that I needed to perform this, in its entirety. So there was no harsh editing, no bad cutting. It was literally everything you needed to perform this effect. And that's what sold it to me when I saw it the first time round. Was as soon as I thought that this would come out, I was going to buy it. I didn't know much about Jason or his other products like Double Take, but I don't think even Double Take had come out when he actually put out the original black and white footage for this. But to show all that footage and what you need to do in performance, and literally the whole routine in its entirety, from making the deck appear, making the cards appear, and then making the deck vanish and then the cards vanish. Yeah, I knew exactly what I was getting, and I knew straight away that it would be workable. And as you guys know, this channel is just for workers, man, or people that are interested in going out there and working their routine. There won't be any sort of like bad reviews really on this channel. Here's the thing, as I said, I went out and worked it last night. It is so workable. So workable. Like the way that you actually have the cards appear and then have the card. In fact, forget this. Let's get into a little video right now. Here it is. Check out a little video I made yesterday. What's happening, guys? Rooster here, and I thought I'd share with you a little secret. Most magicians get their playing cards from IKEA because they come like this, flat packed, which means that at any point during a gig, I can just snap and get myself some cards, which is pretty cool, right? I mean, I don't know how they got in there in the first place, but I think it's pretty cool. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. So, there you go. That was just a little bit of fun that I had messing around with it. Obviously, the actual production method in that I wouldn't use out and about in public. That was just for the camera. The actual way of ringing in the gimmick and sort of ringing in your cards as well is absolutely genius. There are a few methods of doing this, okay, so I've got to touch on the tutorial for this. Now, the tutorial is 42 minutes long. Jason goes into everything from constructing new gimmicks to repairing the original gimmick to the different methods used for producing the cards, whether you're sat at a table. He teaches you even to make how to make a little impromptu holdout if you do a little parlor setting, and he teaches you how to do the like if you'll mix and mingle or at a table or whatever. He goes through all these little routines, and I'm sure a lot of you out there will come up with your own ways as well. So the gimmick you actually get, you get one gimmick pre-made. Okay, you get one gimmick pre-made. In the box you also get the download code as well as some other special stuff that will help you to repair the gimmick when it does wear out. The gimmick is made in blue, which for me is amazing because I only ever use blue bicycles. There's a lot of magicians in the UK especially, probably overseas as well, that just use red, but it's never really suited me. I've always used blue cards, so to find a gimmick already pre-made in blue is amazing because I'm usually having to alter them from red. But he teaches you how to adapt that gimmick for any type of playing card you like. Now, I know not having a red option is going to annoy some people. That is just how the magic community is. A lot of people don't really want to put the work in just to change the original gimmick. Maybe they could have added a red gimmick as well as a blue gimmick, or just sold them as either red or blue. I personally believe that just adapt the gimmick to whatever playing cards you want and you're fine. The gimmick itself is very well made. It is obviously made out of cardboard amongst some other things. Obviously, being made out of cardboard, it will perish at a certain point. In the download, it teaches you how to sort of fix the problems when they occur later on down the line. There isn't a load of teaching in regards to how to remake the whole gimmick, but having spoken to Jason this morning, he's assured me that there's going to be a Facebook group up which you can become a member of, and then he'll show you how to do the other intricate bits. I understand why they haven't put too much of the heavier detail into the download, mainly because I know it would just put a lot of people off, and no one really wants to sort of see they've got to do some stuff at some point down the line and get afraid of having to use the gimmick or anything like that. The gimmick itself uses a couple of other aspects as well. I personally use a couple of these aspects a lot, so I'm used to handling them and keeping these gimmicks in a certain way. So it's not a problem for me to sort of do a bit of arts and crafts. You know, I spend my life in my bloody office doing arts and crafts, man, especially doing mentalism stuff. But for this stuff as well, it's a piece of piss really once you get the hang of things. I know how workable this is. I know that it's going to wear out probably quicker for people that are working it a lot, but it's really not a problem. As I say, in the download, just to touch on it again, you get Jason chatting about all the different ways of performing it, how to remake gimmicks, how to make the gimmick your own, but you also get a little added bonus feature from Dave Loosely. Now, Dave Loosely from Alakazam, he comes up with a really nice method using a little card wallet where you're able to make the cards appear on the wallet, and then you open up the cards and the cards appear, which is really cool, and it's a really nice other application for the gimmick. A couple of things to touch on this. In the download, Jason doesn't really mention how long you can have the gimmick activated for before you are able to produce it. So having spoken to him this morning, I've actually cleared some of that up. The main thing being, when the gimmick is stored, it needs to be stored, probably, I'll always keep it in this box when I'm not using it, but I store it with a deck of cards as well inside it. That way, it always maintains some sort of structure. When you're out and about, I mean, like I say, I used it last night. I just set it up before I did a gig. The gig was 1.5 hours, and it had just been in my wallet and being used, so there was really no sort of danger of that gimmick breaking or anything like that. But yeah, please don't worry about gimmicks breaking during performance or anything like that. They are very sturdy. Just over time, as with anything, where you keep it, if you keep it in a wallet that's sort of being knocked about or being, you know, whatever, some of that gimmick might wear, general wear and tear, right? So just bear that in mind. Here's some good and bad points for me. This might not apply to all of you. A good point for me is that the gimmick comes in blue and is ready to go straight out of the box. Having used it last night, I've already reinforced some sort of parts of the gimmick for my own use personally, because I prefer the way that it opens and sort of looks really visual, but which it still looks great out of the box, but just for me, I wanted to make little subtle changes for my own handling. So yeah, that's one good point. So a bad point: there is only an option for a blue backed gimmick at the moment. Okay, obviously, as I say, you can make your own. It's a little bit of arts and crafts, which I know will put people off. I don't know why it does. Just learn how to do a bit of arts and crafts. It's not hard. If you know, if they want that, they shouldn't have to, but having the option for red or blue might be quite cool, might be quite nice, but you know, they shouldn't have to do that. Another good point: this gimmick will last a long time if kept well. Okay, if kept stored well, if used well in performance, not manhandled, which is, you know, it shouldn't be anyway. I think this gimmick will last a very long time indeed. So normally there's quite a few good and bad points on this, but I think I've covered most of it in the general review. But there aren't really that many bad points, you know, apart from just how to handle the gimmick and sort of being slightly careful with it. No more careful than you would with a lot of other gimmicks out there. Really nothing to worry about. There's not a lot of bad points about it. The load of the playing cards is amazing, especially if you do it with the, I have a little, I actually carry it in Dee's Razor wallet, so I just have it in there, and the load is so justified. Everything is really well thought out in the performance sequence of this, and if you watch the trailer, which I suggest you do, you see Jason's performance of it, and it is just flawless. It is really cool. So, where do I stand on Flatpack? Genuinely the first deck production or sudden deck production that I will consider doing in a close-up environment, which for me is huge. As I say, the trailer for this, when it came out, the little performance video that came out about 2 years ago, and it just sort of flew over people's heads a little bit, I was just like, well, that's amazing. Like, I know that if that got released, I would buy it, and I did, and I knew exactly what I was getting straight off the bat. The actual new trailer doesn't do it as much justice as I think that old trailer, that old video performance. If he just put that up, and Murphy's Magic just went, boom, that's what it is, You know, I think you'd get a hell of a lot more interest or sales or whatnot by showing people exactly those justifiable movements, because it's amazing. So, final thoughts. If this is something that you're into, if that visual deck production is something that you'd like, don't hesitate. Just go out and get it, because you will not be disappointed. A few people will be like, oh, it's perishable, oh, it's going to break, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. Yeah, these are the people that open a deck of loops and just rip them in half. Do you know what I mean? Just be careful with your gimmicks, always, right? Keep them in a safe place. When they're on you, make sure that they're not rubbing against other cards in your wallet. Just be careful with how you apply to, it should apply to all gimmicks, really. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Go check out Flatpack. Give Jason some love over on Instagram. It is brilliant. Genuinely brilliant. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.